headlines. Federal government to complete second Niger bridge before 2022. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo says Nigeria diminished with the killing of Fasoranti's daughter. On the international scene, 26 dead and 56 injured in attack on Somalia hotel. Good evening and thank you for joining us on Ditv World News. My name is Aisha Haruna. The federal government plans to complete the second Niger bridge in Onitsha, Anambra State before the 2022 completion date. The Controller, Federal Ministry of Works in charge of Anambra State, Engineer Adeyemo Ajani, disclosed this on Saturday at both ends of the bridge at Asaba Delta State and Onitsha, Anambra State. During the visits of the bridge by the Nigeria Society of Engineers from Abuja, led by their president, Engineer Okoli, Engineer Ajani, who conducted them round, said, with the speed of the construction firm, the project is likely to be completed before the approved date. Reports say the second Niger bridge stood at 150 meters wide compared to the first bridge that was built in 1965, which was only 60 meters wide. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has declared that the country has been diminished by the killing of the daughter of elder statesman, leader Pa Ruben Fasoranti, Mrs. Funke Olorunke, on Friday. In a condolence letter to the father of the deceased through his special assistant on media, Kehinde Akinyemi, Chief Obasanjo said the killing by suspected herdsmen was a worrisome development in the polity, especially at a time when all well-meaning Nigerians were preaching tolerance and political accommodation. He tasked the security agents to fish out those responsible for the heinous crime. The traditional ruler of Kona in Taraba State, Augustine Njemang, has appealed to the state and federal government to rehabilitate victims of the recent herders and farmer crisis in Jalingo and Argo Kola local government areas of the state. The monarch decried the devastation occasioned by the crisis, adding that people were still living in deplorable conditions in internally displaced persons (IDP) camps. According to him, the people cannot even go back to their farms as a result of the siege on their communities by suspected herdsmen. He noted that the early return and rehabilitation of the victims will help to avoid impending food crisis in the area. The Senate has urged the federal government to enlighten the Nigerian business community to leverage on the immense benefits of Nigeria's membership of the Africa Continental Free Trade (ACFTA) agreement. This followed a motion by Senator Barrow Jibrin at the Senate plenary in Abuja. Correspondent Ahmed Hassan Ahmed has the details.
Senator Barrow Jibrin noted that the Council of Nigeria followed the recommendation of the Presidential Committee set up to make wider consultations on the benefits or otherwise of Nigeria's membership, adding that it has ended the heightened expectations of Nigerians on the desirability or otherwise of the country's membership of the continental body. Senators took turn to express their views.
We will, in accepting to sign the agreement, in spite of earlier misgivings, which have been put to rest by the Presidential Technical Committee on the matter. 2, urge the federal government to enlighten the Nigerian business community to leverage on the immense benefits of the agreement.
For you to get some part of African country, you first of all go back to Europe before you can connect an African country. So this will be a starting point to encourage us to see how we can develop this trade and transportation within Africa. I think Nigeria has a lot to benefit within this African business arrangement.
The Senate, therefore, through the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawal, commended President Muhammadu Buhari for his strong political and economic will in accepting to sign the agreement in spite of earlier misgivings. The Senate also further urged the government to continue its current policy of improving the nation's infrastructures like electricity, roads, and other basic necessities of life. Similarly, in an effort to improve the quality of life for both urban and rural people in Adamawa State, the Senate also called for the establishment of a medical school at the Modibo Adama University of Technology in Yola, as well as an upgrade of Federal Medical Center to a university teaching hospital. following a motion sponsored by Senator Aishatu Dahiru Binani. Recall that President Muhammadu Buhari signed the agreement at the 12th Extraordinary Summit of the African Union in Niamey, Niger Republic. In Abuja, I am Ahmed Hassan Ahmed reporting for Ditv World News.
The Senate Ad Hoc Committee investigating the use of Avatin injection for eye treatment at the National Eye Center, Kaduna, has commended the procedure adopted by the center in handling the victims of the drugs after it was administered on them. Chairman of the committee, Senator Matthew Orogide, Edo South Senatorial District, gave the commendation after a one-on-one interaction with the victims at the eye center, who initially went blind and later regained their sight. Senator Ogorije said the committee is not at the eye center to punish or blame anybody, but to find out what really happened and prevent a recurrence. He, however, clarified that the Senate did not ban the use of Avatin, but only suspended it.
Has been used for very many years. In fact, it has been administered to over 2,000 patients. And to find out 10 of them had these unpredicted adverse effects, was just a one-off thing. So we are taking it back that we have seen them, they are in good condition, they are improving. And then, of course, that the drug that was used, if anything, is analysis that will show whether something went wrong. They just had inflammation. That is the condition that has been established. That inflammation could have come from maybe infection of the drug itself or wrong preservation or such like. So until we get the results, we'll not be able to say exactly what happened, that particular vial from which, of course, all of them were administered the drug, went bad or something went wrong with it.
CMD of the center, Dr. Mahmoud Al-Hassan, said the medical team had restored some of the patient's sight and is making efforts to restore the sight of the remaining.
It's a fact-finding visit. Thank God, at least they've come to see, interacted with the management and the board and the patients, and the facts are clear that most of the patients are gaining back their vision gradually. Some even better than when they came. So I think that's the summary. It's better than listening or hearing or reading something in the media.
On the international scene, at least 26 people, including several foreigners, were killed and 56 others injured in a suicide bomb attack and gunmen attack claimed by Al-Shabaab militants on a popular hotel in southern Somalia, Medina Hotel. The president of the semi-autonomous Jubaland region, Ahmad Muhammad Islam, stated this on Saturday at a news conference. Reports say the suicide bomber rammed a vehicle loaded with explosives into the Medina Hotel in the port town of Kismayo on Friday, before several heavily armed gunmen forced their way inside, guns blazing. The attack lasted for almost 12 hours. Authorities say 3 Kenyans, 3 Tanzanians, 2 Americans and 1 British and 1 Canadian were among the 26 people killed in the attack. Meanwhile, Al-Shabaab, the Al-Qaeda-linked group, has claimed responsibility for the siege, describing it as a martyrdom attack. And finally, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights says 14 civilians, including 6 children and infants, were killed on Saturday in airstrikes in northwest Syria, targeted for months now by the deadly regime and Russian bombardment. The monitoring group said most of the children were among civilians killed when Russian aircraft raided an informal camp of internally displaced Syrians after midnight on Friday in a camp near the town of Khan Sheikhoun in Idlib region. Houses Syrians who had fled raids and clashes in the neighboring Hama province. Reports say Russian and Syrian regime aircrafts have ramped up strikes on Idlib since the end of April, killing more than 590 civilians, while 45 others have perished from rebel fire. With that report, we have come to the end of Ditv World News. But before we go and look at the stories that made headlines, we told you that the federal government says plans are on to complete the second Niger Bridge before 2022. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo says Nigeria has diminished with the killing of Fasoranti's daughter. On the international scene, you heard that 26 people have been killed, 56 others injured in an attack on a Somali hotel. Thank you for staying with us. I am Aisha Haruna.